Hello, everyone, and welcome to this reading. I hope you are so well. So, today I'm going to be doing a pick a card reading looking into healing and recovery after narcissistic abuse. I did a general reading a few days ago about narcissistic abuse recovery, and I got such a positive response from you guys, and it was so inspiring, and it actually shifted things in my own energy. So, I felt like this is something that Spirit wants me to continue to talk about. So, I decided I'm going to do a pick a card reading today looking a lot deeper into this topic. I've actually already filmed the readings, you guys, and each one of them was really deep. You actually might have more than one group, I want to say. So keep that in mind, or you might want to listen to a different group at a different phase or stage of your healing later on, because these messages are timeless. I also channeled a narcissistic abuse recovery light language tape today. You guys, this one was really strong, really powerful light language transmission. This was also recommended by one of you guys in response to that video, so thank you so much for that. And it really felt like a powerful one coming through. I felt it really strongly in the third eye. I'll tell you about it for a little bit. I felt it really strongly in the third eye. It did come through every single chakra. Actually, Spirit wanted me to work with every single one in particular. But in particular, the third eye and the throat chakra were like very, very heavily impacted, I felt, from the narcissistic abuse. And in particular, the third eye, Spirit kept coming back to and kept doing more and more work to unlock and energetically kind of clear. And I feel like light language is actually a really powerful tool to use with narcissistic abuse recovery because it does pierce through into the subconscious mind and it gets past that layer that can sometimes still be clouded with the third eye illusions, right? Where you might not be seeing yourself clearly or your self-worth clearly, things like this. So light language can really help kind of free us, and it really helps like clear sort of that background noise as well. Like I found after I did that healing that I actually had quite a strong sort of energy shift, and I felt like I freed something up quite strongly from it. This is quite a strong healing. I'll just give that disclaimer, you guys. It's definitely like, I'm saying it's not a substitute for any kind of medical professional help, but I did find it was quite strong in my own experience. So I would recommend just keeping that in mind if you're going to work with it in your own life. Keep in mind you don't know how you're going to react the first time, so you might want to keep the afternoon free to kind of integrate it, because this one is working with really deep topic of narcissistic abuse, so it will be quite a strong tape. So keep that in mind, yeah. I'll tell you as well, I felt this fabric energy in the third eye. It felt like the third eye had been taped over with this fabric that had been woven in. And it felt like narcissistic abuse recovery is like unweaving this fabric in the third eye. And so you can see things differently and see things clearly. And I felt so much energy in the third eye, you guys, and in the head in general. So keep that in mind. The upper chakras were really impacted by this healing, but in a really positive way, because Spirit was showing me things like light language can help to quicken that unraveling process and dissolve it. That's what I was shown, is that it can help to quicken and dissolve that process of healing that really occurs through the third eye. And then I was being shown that the third eye, these sort of has all of these links to all of the other chakras in the body, and it helps to clear it. So even though a lot of narcissistic abuse can be sort of linked to the lower chakras in terms of the emotions like shame, guilt, blame, things like this, which is very sort of like in our root chakra, in our sacral chakra, fear as well, intimidation in the solar plexus chakra, and of course heartbreak in the heart chakra. But I actually felt so much of the kind of mental and mind control is what Spirit wanted to focus on, because the mental and the mind control is what creates those emotions in the lower chakras, you guys. The mental and the emotional is what creates the guilt and the blame and the shame and the responsibility, taking responsibility, and the fear. Okay, so, or the not feeling free. So that's where I felt the healing focused on. It felt like it focused on, really, it came through the crown, the third eye, and the throat chakra were really, really powerfully impacted. I also felt a really strong energy in the throat chakra about reclaiming your voice. In recovery is really important, reclaiming your voice and releasing the judgment or the voices of others. Yeah, so I'll link that tape down below. You can read more about it, you guys, and I would definitely recommend it, especially if you resonate with this reading or if you are going through recovery. Light language can really help with that process so profoundly. So yeah, I'll link it down below, and I'll introduce the 3 cards. So it's a pick a card reading. Like I said, you can pick more than one card if you feel drawn to. Group number 1 is She-Wolf, Unleash the Wild Within. Group number 2 is Guardian Angel, You Are Not Alone. And group number 3 is Shapeshifter, Transform and Unveil Your Gifts. So I'll link the timestamps down below, and I'll link that tape down below as well. Thank you so much for supporting my work, and I'll see you for your reading. Hello, group number one, and welcome to your reading. So, you chose She Wolf Unleash the Wild Within. So, I feel like the key in your healing is actually around anger. When I first saw this card come through, I felt a really strong energy of like suppressed anger. And I feel like there's something here about your anger actually holds a really important part of you, or really important part of your voice. There's something about your voice has been denied or suppressed in the past that was part of the toxic relationship that you are a part of. There's something about the voice. I feel like you may have even been raised in an environment. This feels really deep. Like you might have been raised in an environment where anger was not permitted. You weren't allowed to express anger. It could have especially been something to do with your gender. Like if you were female, male, whichever one, there could have been something to do with anger. Like you weren't allowed to be angry. Like, as a woman, maybe you weren't allowed to express anger, or as a man, it might have been frowned upon or really heavily kind of shamed or denied or something, is what I'm feeling, is that it was like taught to you early on, this energy around anger. And anger is a really important energy, you guys, because it helps us with identifying our boundaries and noticing and knowing like when we have had boundary violations. So there could also be a lot of anger around boundary violations as well. And yeah, I'm feeling like this anger is very heavily pushed down. It's like you weren't in a place where you were allowed to get angry. Maybe there was actual fear as well in your body, like you were afraid of repercussions if you got angry or if you spoke out or something like this. There could have been something like this where, yeah, there's a fear here in your voice as well, I feel like, around the really speaking out or speaking up for yourself. So I'm seeing that part of your journey is around really acknowledging your anger and knowing that your anger is totally safe and it's totally valid. I feel like there's something here about validating your anger as a real emotion and as a very valid emotion. Like it's something like you were invalidated with your anger. You were either told that there's no reason to be angry, or that your anger is somehow inappropriate or it's unwelcome here or something like this. There wasn't like a healthy expression of anger somehow. And I feel like it's very heavily on the suppression side. But for some of you guys, look, the thing with suppressed anger is that it often will come out in kind of like a wild way, like unleash the wild within. Sometimes it will come out kind of untamed, because anger is like a volatile kind of energy. When it gets pushed down, it can kind of become almost like a volcano. You don't know when it's going to erupt. And so it might be that it comes out in the wrong places. Sometimes with suppressed anger, it's like we can end up getting angry at someone who we're not even really angry at. It's like maybe we weren't allowed to be angry, at our parents growing up. So then we might take it out on our partner sometimes when they trigger us or something like this. You know what I'm trying to say is like sometimes with suppressed anger, it's like there's so much anger there that it can come out against almost like the wrong person, like where they may not really deserve it. So I feel like there's something really important here with anger, and like you really acknowledging the anger as being totally valid. Like it's totally, totally valid that you have this anger. It's actually really important. It's actually a really important part of healing, because like I said, anger helps us with our boundaries. It helps us identify where, with who, and when and why we need boundaries, because it's something about, it's like a messenger system. And when that messenger signal is like denied by someone else or in your environment, like I'm seeing that it wasn't from you first. That's the thing. This denial or suppression of your anger, it didn't necessarily come from you originally. It's more like it was a response to the environment that you were finding yourself in, where it wasn't safe for you to express this anger. It was literally maybe physically unsafe. You didn't want a retaliation, or that you were just told through even like nonverbals, like no one in your family expresses anger. Or if you do, you're, sent to your room. I don't know. There's something about I feel like anger wasn't super overt, but for some of you, maybe you had anger in a really overt kind of aggressive way, maybe in your family. Like maybe there was a lot of anger and fighting, and that might make you not know how to sort of express anger now, because you might think, I don't want to end up like that, or I don't want to, be toxic with my anger. So there's something really complicated here about feeling anger and like knowing how to feel it, knowing how to express it, knowing how to acknowledge it, but also not let it tarnish our relationships or hurt the people we love, because that's what we don't want to do. So I also have a chakra card here. I pulled a chakra card for each group. And the interesting thing is that you got the solar plexus. Okay. So this is part of where I was getting all that anger energy from, but it goes deeper than that, because I feel like the solar plexus chakra actually is very connected into fear as well. So I feel like there's something around fear of your anger or fear of expressing your anger. And sometimes that can also be connected into fear of your power, because with Unleash the Wild Within, I feel like there's like almost this huge reservoir of power that you hold inside of yourself. There might have been something about your anger contained your power. Actually, I'm getting this really strongly now as I'm tuning in. It's like growing up, your anger, when you expressed anger, somehow this was equated to like your power. Like you were seen as being in your power, and your power was the thing that they really wanted to shut down rather than your anger. It's like your anger was expressing, like I said, it was expressing some kind of injustice. It was like this boundary has been violated or this thing is not okay. And that is what I'm seeing that you need to reclaim. It's like reclaiming that part of your anger that was true, that is justice, that is sacred rage, that is justified. And I feel like yeah, it's really connected into your power. So I feel like spirit wants you to know that is that part of the reason why your anger even got shut down in your environment around you is because people were trying to shut down your power, not necessarily the anger itself. It's just that when you would get angry, you would unleash this power into the world. Okay. That's what I'm seeing. This could also be connected to past life in some way. Spirit's saying to keep on practicing expressing your anger, even if you get it wrong sometimes. Don't judge yourself because you're in a process, a healing process, and all you can do is try your best, and that's enough. Like, Spirit needs you to know that because there might be something that you might have, often with anger, when it comes out in ways we can't control, like there can be sort of a shame hangover that comes from that where we feel shame about it. And sometimes that can make you maybe not want to speak up at times when it is appropriate. You know what I mean? So I'm seeing something about spirit saying just don't judge yourself for the anger process. Like just try as hard as you can to just keep going, basically. It's like all you can do with the solar plexus, like just keep on trying, just keep on going. Because you are making a lot more progress than I think you realize. And there's something here about you might be given opportunities at this time. At the time when you're receiving this reading, there might be opportunities coming into your life to actually practice standing up for yourself. You might be noticing this, or you might find that you aren't putting up with things as much anymore. You're like, you know what? I'm not going to let this person keep overriding my boundaries, or I'm not going to just, sit here without saying anything, or I'm going to actually speak up. And Spirit's saying this is very important to keep doing this, even if you feel like it's pointless or futile. Like if you're saying, oh, there's no point putting in a complaint about this person because, nothing's ever going to happen about it. Spirit's saying sometimes it's actually important just to do it for yourself, just to do it because you are saying to the universe, I'm not okay with this behavior, or someone can't speak to me like this, or this is my boundary here, and I'm not okay with anything less than this. You know what I mean? It's something like this about stating to the universe, like, this is my boundary and this is what I am okay with and what I'm not okay with. Because I feel like you might have something really with boundaries where it might be sometimes hard for you to know, like, when, like, it's something about discernment. Like, when do I speak up? When is it okay to kind of get angry at someone? Like, there's something really about really learning about anger. Like, when is it okay to get angry? When is it okay to express myself? How do I be assertive and not aggressive? How do I speak up in a way so that I'm heard, so that I don't sound, you know, hysterical or something? There's a lot here about communication as well with the anger. But Spirit's saying, like, every single time that you set a boundary or that you speak up for yourself, that you say no in a situation, that you complain about someone's behavior, even if it's scary for you to do that, even if it really feels like, almost you get a trauma response from doing these things. Like every time you do it, you actually reclaim your power. Okay. You reclaim that power because who you are fundamentally is so wild. Like you're like this she wolf. Like you are really wild and free. You have a lot of power. You have a power that actually, I think, scares people, you guys. Like that's the depth that I'm feeling is that your power actually kind of intimidates people because it comes from I actually want to say it comes from a very raw, divine feminine place. And it's reminding me of the Lilith archetype, the goddess Lilith, that can be very terrified, but she holds like a very sort of important feminine mystery, mystique kind of raw power. There's something very unapologetic about who you actually are. You're very aligned with truth. Like you will speak truth because it is true. And there's something, about that solar plexus chakra. You're very aligned with justice, with truth, and with doing something because it is right, with integrity. And Spirit's saying, like, you can trust yourself and your discernment more, I feel, in situations where you're like, this person is, treating me really badly, or this person is doing something, inappropriate. It's like, you can really trust that because I feel like there might be sort of a tendency to sort of silence yourself or silence that because it's sort of inconvenient. Yeah, and you might find that there are, like, troubling people everywhere. You're like, there's just so many people around that are, you know, not good vibes. But Spirit's saying the more that you assert your boundaries, like, you're healing right now. You're healing your energy field and you're filling yourself with more and more light. And the thing is that you do have this like unapologetic and almost like untouchable power. And that's what these sort of narcissist energies have been trying to get you. It's like trying to get to that untouchable power that you have, but it really is untouched. Like you really have this whole power within you. And I feel like that it's almost going to be coming back to you in the way that you see yourself or the way that you see situations. That's part of how you're going to see your power come back to you. It's like you're going to realize that you were right in a situation. Like I feel like there's something where it's like you were right and they were wrong. And you need to kind of know that. There's something about that where even if everyone around you thinks that you were wrong, that doesn't mean it's objectively true, okay? Just because people in a situation think that you are in the wrong, that does not mean it's objectively what is true. And there's something where you may have even been ganged up on in some way for your voice or for your idea or for your dissonance. Like if you, I don't know, if you left a group or you left your family or you left even some kind of religious group or something like this, it's kind of giving me that kind of energy, like almost like a cult energy for some of you, where it's like you might have had to really stand up to some kind of like group think or like mind control, mental mind control. Because, you know, guys, even in family of origins, when these families are narcissistic, when there's narcissistic, you know, people that are protected in the family system and abuse is protected, things like this in narcissistic systems, a lot of the way that they function is very much like a cult. Like narcissistic family systems function very much like a cult. I mean, this is my opinion. I think it is shared by other people, but probably not everyone. But this is just how I personally see it. And I feel like leaving it is similar to the like brainwashing that you have to overcome from cult like groups, because there's usually, you know, the most abusive person in a narcissistic family system is the most protected person. So if you try to speak up, if you try to do something to change, you will not be protected, but the abuser will be protected. That's how narcissistic families work. And it's similar to how cults work, okay? The narcissistic leader of the cult is the person who is protected. No matter what they're doing, no matter what injustice it is, they are still the ones that are protected. So I feel like there's something here about, yeah, you've had to leave some kind of group dynamic and be your own person and really learn about independence and learn that you are sort of doing the right thing, like you're in the right. There's something about your integrity, your willpower, this kind of thing. So I'm going to pull you a animal oracle card from this deck. And I want to see what animal spirit is with you in this healing process that you're in right now. Beaver spirit, lay a solid foundation. Really interesting. And back of the deck, we have Owl Spirit, you see clearly now. I'm going to leave that one in there because it does feel kind of relevant, I have to say, to what I was feeling. And, you know, the solar plexus chakra is very connected into actually our physical sense of sight in the world, like our eyesight. It rules over our eyesight, literally. So there's something about seeing a situation clearly, like you see clearly now. You are the one in that situation that saw clearly. Yeah, I'm seeing lay a solid foundation. This is very likely to do with your family of origin is what I was picking up. And anyway, even if you have had, you know, other relationships that were with narcissists and it will still be from the family of origin roots. And sometimes that can be hard to really look at, you guys. And then the solar plexus chakra is also connected to the sun. I feel like there's something about the sun, the truth is really on your side. Like you are on the side of truth. I'm actually going to pull you one more card, you guys. I'm going to pull you a tarot card from this psychic tarot oracle. One final card for group one for their reading, Spirit. You definitely are standing in your power. That's what Spirit wants you to know. No way, we got another chakra card, you guys. So this is all the chakras that I pull actually from this psychic tarot oracle. Let me just put this back in shot. So it's really, it's really interesting that you got two chakras actually. It's quite significant because Spirit wants you to know that you're telling the truth, okay? That's what I feel like is a really important part of this, is that you are the one telling the truth, okay? Literally, as I channeled that message, my throat chakra started closing up and I started like losing my voice almost. So there's something here about really reclaiming your voice is part of your healing because your voice holds so much power. Because like I said, there's something about when you speak up, really people notice when you speak with anger, it's coming from a place of love. Like it's coming from a place of justice, of what is right. Like the solar plexus chakra with the throat chakra, that's about speaking up about justice, about injustice, about what is right, what is wrong, based on sort of like natural law. And I feel like you really saw through things you saw through things. You saw through manipulations that were done in the throat chakra. There's something about what you had with your, like, whoever you're recovering from, the sort of, I'm feeling like there's one person in particular that their voice got inside your head a bit, but you also managed to fight back. Like, you actually they really didn't stand a chance against you, I have to say. You're too powerful. Honestly, you are free at heart. That's the thing. They could never contain you. You are free at heart. She wolf, unleash the wild within. Like, you're wild at heart. And they tried to get inside your head with throat chakra. And the throat chakra is really connected to the ears as well, you guys, as well as the voice, because it's like what we listen to from other people. And it's also connected into our beliefs and our programming, our mind control, things like this. All of our chakras are connected with narcissistic abuse. But when I was doing that narcissistic abuse recovery light language tape today, I channeled a really intense light language healing before I'm doing this reading, which feels kind of perfect for the energy. But when I was channeling that one, it really felt like so much of it was needing to come through the third eye, because the third eye is like the manipulation centers in terms of perception. And I feel like the way that your perception may have been manipulated was through the throat chakra, okay? Through the voices of others, through the belief systems of others as well. I'm getting a strong belief system energy here. Like I was saying, I'm getting like a cult-like energy from the belief system that you grew up in. There's something about the belief system. It was like you had to believe what everyone else believed, or what someone in particular believed, like maybe the main person, or, I'm getting there was like maybe someone in particular that had a lot of power in the family system, okay? And you needed to sort of like comply with that. And therefore the anger or the injustice had to be suppressed, because when you're a child and you grow up in this sort of thing, we don't get a choice whether we bond to someone, whether we don't get a choice. We just bond. We just do what we need to do to survive in that moment, because that's what we are programmed to do. Just like, all animals like know inherently how to survive. And that's part of human survival, is actually through bonding with caregivers. So it's very important that you create a bond so that you survive. So anything that you need to do, anyone you need to become to get that to happen, you can do that. Obviously, ideally in a utopian earth, like in a real, like, loving, heart-based earth, a child would not need to become someone else to be loved. They would just be loved inherently for who they are. And they would be met, and it would be like, I want to know you. I want to see you. I want to know who you are. And I feel like that's something that was missed, is like, you didn't have that connection with someone, like someone in this, like the narcissistic trauma that you carry is around not being fully seen, not actually being seen much at all, or being seen in a way that is distorted, or that distorts your own perception of yourself, not seeing your own self, your self-image, this kind of thing. But it's also about not really being known by someone, not really being known by them. The loneliness of that as well. Wow. So there's something here about, you are seeing the truth. You are speaking the truth. What you are seeing, what you are saying is true. And there might be some times when your third eye can come in and it can become distorted, or the throat chakra, where it's like your thoughts, your beliefs are becoming distorted again, because this is very dense programming. I'm getting it's like cult-like programming. And Spirit's saying that you kind of have to treat it like that, when every time it comes up, you kind of need to state the facts. Like, what is true here? You have done nothing wrong. Like, there's sort of like truths that you need to come home to, that I feel like will help you on your journey of recovery, because you have so much power. And I feel like you're going to have it kind of, you are going to have it unleash into the world, like in this lifetime, 100%. Like, there's no stopping you. That's what Spirit wants you to know. Like, there actually is no stopping you. You are simply too powerful. And I love that. Lay a solid foundation as well, is like, again, acknowledging the family of origin. Spirit wants me to acknowledge that again, because some of you might not always want to see that it's there, because, our third eye can keep us from truths that are very painful to see, through denial, or, things like this. And I really felt that in the healing. You guys, you really might want to check out that healing that I did, because it was really powerful. I felt it really strongly in the third eye. It was like helping to dissolve this like woven. I felt it was like a fabric. I'm just going to tell you about the healing because it was really interesting. You can skip forward if you don't want to hear about it, but it was like this fabric woven on top of the third eye, and it was like threaded through the third eye. And it was a really interesting material, because I felt it very texturally. Like, imagine like a very coarse kind of fabric, and it's like so many of these weird, like woven threads. And I was being shown that part of healing is that we de-thread it, and we we pull apart these threads and it like sort of unlocks our third eye and unlocks our ability to see the truth again, to see the truth about who we really are, not who the abusive person thinks that you are or wants you to think that you are, right? Because it's not even truly who they think you are. They really see your power, they see your light, they see your beauty, they see your value. They're just trying to keep you from seeing that through an illusion, right? They're trying to lie to themselves and lie to you and through devaluing. As the core sort of part of narcissistic abuse is a devaluing campaign that happens. Because if you are devalued and your self-esteem is fractured, then you are more easy to control. So you're really, you're really bringing back your power in this lifetime after, for some reason, like, I feel like there was some really core narcissistic relationship that, was very traumatic, and that you are using it though as kind of like almost like a volcanic reaction. It's almost like something like where you're like, you know what, I'm going to erupt into the world. Like, you have the energy of the goddess. Like, there's something very powerful, divine feminine, like uncontrollable about your energy. And it's a very, very powerful, beautiful energy. And I feel like, yeah, you're going to kind of like unleash onto the world in this life. So yeah, recovering from narcissistic abuse, if you would like some help, I have that tape, Narcissistic Abuse Recovery. It's a light language tape that I just channeled today, and it was such a powerful healing, you guys. I really felt it so strongly in myself. I went through every single chakra of the body, like from crown all the way down. And in particular, it was in the third eye. I felt like the third eye was really where spirit wanted to focus so much of the energy, because so much was releasing in the third eye and then it was releasing in the other chakras. So it's like our perception of ourselves, our perception of reality, and of what really happened is so important in recovery. And I feel like, especially with the solar plexus chakra coming out and you see clearly now, the eyesight, right, is like you do see the truth. But I feel like there's something in the trauma that might have made you doubt that, or might have made that a very traumatic experience because people around you did not see the truth or did not agree with you in some way. So it's like you are reclaiming your power, you're reclaiming your voice, you do see the truth. If you do want some extra energetic help, I'll link that tape down below. I really feel like it could help you. I really feel like it could help anyone if they are recovering from this type of abuse. Then yeah, it's a great tool, and it really helps like to dissolve the energy in the third eye. I feel like light language really works subconsciously, and it can help kind of quicken the process. Especially, yeah, if you find that your perception gets distorted, or if you start doubting yourself, like, did this really happen? Or was I really seeing the truth? Am I the one that's in the wrong? When like you start to like worlds start to get flipped, like things get inverted in your head. Like, what if I'm the one that did something wrong? And this kind of thing. Yeah, if you struggle with that, like light language could actually really help that, because it will start to like pierce through the illusion and just go straight to the heart of the matter, the heart of the truth, because light language does not hide anything. Like, light language is just pure truth. Like, it is from a higher frequency. So there's no illusions there. So I feel like it could really help you. Yeah, even with the moon there behind the she-wolf, the moon energy can really talk about illusions. It's like you see through the illusions, but there was such a force, like a campaign against you to try to get you to not see that it might have really, created like some distortion there. Like I said, some issues with the third eye of like really believing in yourself and things like that. But you're so on a journey, like you're on a fast track journey as well, Spirit. There's so many messages coming through for this group. I thought I was going to wrap up, but no. You're on a fast track journey of healing. That's what Spirit wants you to know. Like, you have a very solid foundation because you came in at a very high consciousness. That's what Spirit wants you to know with that foundations card, is like part of your foundation is that you're actually a very high consciousness being. And that's why you can see truth and see through so many illusions. And you have a very strong foundation to work from. Like, you are going to unleash like a volcano. It's like suddenly you're just going to kind of erupt and you're going to be an unstoppable force in the world. Okay. Like, seriously, an unstoppable force in the world. Yeah. So you do see clearly, it is the truth. You are speaking the truth. What you've done is the truth. Like, it's in alignment, it's in integrity, things like this. You're reclaiming your voice, you're reclaiming your power. Oh yeah, remember that message as well about speaking up for yourself. Even if you're like, oh, it's not going to do anything, or they're not going to listen. Yeah, they're probably not going to listen if they're a narcissist or whatever. And they're probably going to be protected by institutions and all of these things that are so frustrating and annoying. But the other thing is that if it's appropriate, not if it like totally drains you, but if it's like something that, I feel like if it's something that really does like feel like, you know what, maybe I'm just going to do it. I feel like you should. I feel like you should speak up for yourself when appropriate, not to put yourself, like not to go out of the way to put yourself into traumatizing situations or something where you're coming up against a narcissist. But I'm just saying, like, to state to the universe, like, what your boundaries are. That's more, look at it like that instead of looking at it like, oh, they're not going to get any justice or they're not going to listen to me. It's like, but the universe will listen. The universe will hear it. Your inner child will listen. It's also kind of think about like, you're sticking up for yourself for your inner child, because your inner child will feel happy. Your inner child will feel like, hey, there's someone on my side, you know, there's someone on my side. It's kind of like that. It's like making your inner child feel safe, knowing that even if you come up against toxic people around the world, like you have the ability to state your boundaries and to, protect them, because you're a powerful being. And that's the thing, like people are really more intimidated of you. You've got a spider energy of the divine feminine. You know how they say that spiders are more afraid of you than you are of them? Well, I'm feeling like people are more afraid of spiders than they are of us, actually. I don't know, I'm just getting something about, like, there's something very divine feminine, like spidery energy, like Lilith. Like, there's something about the divine feminine archetype that can be feared, because it can be, you guys. The divine feminine archetype can totally be feared. Like, it can bring up so much fear because it's the mystery, it's the unknown, it's the dark, it's the unknowable, the unseeable sometimes. I mean, it's so many things. That's the thing. The divine feminine is constantly shape-shifting and changing. So yeah, you have a divine feminine raw power that you are here to unleash. That is your destiny. You will do it. Do it through reclaiming your voice. Do it through reclaiming your boundaries and your anger, your sacred rage. Your rage is appropriate. Okay. That's the thing. And really honor yourself, love yourself, be gentle, kind with yourself on your journey back to knowing how to express your anger in healthy, appropriate ways, okay? Sometimes it might not always be perfect. Sometimes you might be like, oh my God, I was like way too aggressive about that or something, because you're still getting used to it. You know what I mean? Or whatever it might be. Like, just be gentle with yourself if you make mistakes. That's what Spirit wants you to know. All right, that's really all that we have time for, but I feel like I could keep going for this forever. So comment down below if you want more of these kind of readings, or if you have any ideas for other narcissistic abuse recovery type readings, because I'm just feeling so aligned with doing this stuff, this content right now. So please, yeah, tell me in the comments, or you can even just email me if you want it to be more private, for reading suggestions that you have, you guys, for this topic. And yeah, thank you so much for supporting my work. And like I said, I'll link that Narcissistic Abuse Recovery light language tape. It was a really powerful channel transmission. If you would like to check it out or read more about it, I'll link it down below. I definitely recommend it. If you resonate with this reading, I 100% recommend it. And yeah, thank you so much for supporting my work. I'm sending you so much love and light. Take care. Hello, group 2, and welcome to your reading. So you chose Guardian Angel. You are not alone. So in your recovery journey, I feel like Spirit really wants you to know that you have done nothing wrong, that you are in the right, that the decision you made was true, or that you are not bad, or something like this. Like, there's something where I feel like the narcissistic abuse left you feeling like a lot of responsibility that's not yours. Like, a lot of everything is your fault in the situation kind of thing, which is really distorted and not true. And it's not true in any dynamic, in any relationship, regardless. Like, there's always something that is shared between, because it's a shared energy, right? So I feel like there's something really distorted where you were made to feel like everything was your fault in some kind of a partnership, in some kind of a relationship. Could have been a family relationship. Keep in mind, you guys, parent. Could have been a love relationship for a lot of you guys. I feel like it could have been love. But yeah, there was a lot of a messaging around responsibility being yours and only yours. And I feel like that you may have taken on a lot of like obligation and a lot of guilt, like a lot of ownership of things that's not yours. And I feel like part of your journey, like, is really to free yourself. I actually have a chakra card that I pulled for your group, and I got the crown chakra, which makes sense when I was saying free yourself. It's really about freeing yourself. Your recovery, like, is really about freeing yourself from this burden that you've taken on, where like other people or someone in particular maybe has like put something onto you, like some kind of fear, obligation, guilt, like fog. They call it fog, fear, obligation, guilt, where it's like you don't see yourself clearly, you don't see what you have achieved clearly or something. Yeah. Oh, you guys, there's something here as well about, I feel like there's something here as well about spirit, your spirit guides. Like, okay, it's really interesting. I'm actually feeling ancestors. I'm feeling like a deceased ancestor in particular, maybe one, feeling like potentially a female, like a grandmother spirit, but it could be something else for others of you. But I'm feeling like they want you to know that they approve of you healing from your family energy. There's something here where they want you to know that they approve of you to move away from some toxic dynamic, some narcissistic abuse in your family or something. They're your ancestor, they're your blood, and they see that you're healing for your bloodlines. They see that you're healing ancestral energy, and they want you to know that they love you and that they approve of this. They say yes, they say yes, they say yes, you've done the right thing, that you have not done something wrong, and that you have been quite alone. They're showing me you've been quite alone with this decision, that you haven't had a lot of support from loved ones. Especially, you may have lost a sense of belonging in the root chakra in some way. And so there's something about knowing that your ancestors do not judge you, okay? That there's something about from the non-physical perspective, there's a lot of love for this healing that's taking place in your family. I'm feeling like a particularly something to do with the family, okay? There's something like where it's not judged. It's not judged. It is loved. Your decision is loved. You're supported, okay? Whoa, that came really strong through the heart. There's like a very high vibrational love energy surrounding you. I'm feeling angelic energy. I'm feeling like one of your ancestors is actually with the angels. You might feel like they're very connected to angels, or you might feel connected to them as their very protective spirit over you as well. Like they're very, like a guardian angel kind of energy for you. You do have a strong connection to your ancestors because something that you are doing in this lifetime through healing is healing your bloodline. So it's healing your ancestors. So it's impacting your ancestors. So they have, like, I'm seeing them watching your life, like they enjoy to participate in helping your life in any way they can through sending you prayers of energy of, through trying to help guide you to being able to see yourself clearly is what they are showing me is like they want you to be able to see. I just saw a really beautiful like white orb, like an angelic colored orb. You really are protected by the angels. You're really surrounded by the angels and they want you to see yourself clearly, to see that you have not done something wrong in this situation, that they're saying, how is choosing healing wrong? How is choosing to heal yourself wrong? And there's something where it's like you've really been put upon to do with fear, obligation, guilt, with like really feeling like it's your fault, it's your responsibility, feeling guilt, taking on the blame, things like this. And there's just so much love and compassion coming through. And they really were saying, like, if you could see it from the highest perspective, the crown chakra, right? If you could really connect with that crown chakra perspective, where it's sort of like more emotionally detached. I find crown chakra perspective is more, it's more based in our free will and it's really honoring of our freedom. And the thing with the crown chakra is that the block or the shadow energy of the crown is obligation. It's doing things out of obligation of I have to, because it's a family commitment or because it's this thing or that thing, not because you want to, not because it brings you joy and love. And so that's not like Spirit saying that's not the true meaning of family. Like there's something really here about so much obligation has really impacted your crown. You may have even lost hair out of stress in this situation because it's like symbolizing the crown, the stress in the crown, because your crown chakra is actually going through like a reformulation, like it's reformulating inside of you and it's completely changing because you have taken on this healing, because you have said yes to healing, because you have set boundaries and moved forwards, okay? And even if you haven't done that yet, I'm seeing that it's kind of inevitable for you to do it, okay? We have oh my gosh, you guys, we have the cutest animal spirit card coming through. I put an animal spirit for everyone. And you got the squirrel spirit, believe in yourself. Yes, believe in yourself. Seriously, believe in yourself. Because, yeah, look at this. We have loyal dog spirit, be loyal to what you love. I feel like you probably have had the most pain around cutting off from a narcissist person or a narcissistic group. It's probably been extremely, extremely painful for you because you have really strong loyalty and love, and that love is not cancelled out, it's not. And I feel like this is really coming from your ancestors, from your spirit guides, from your angels to believe in yourself, to believe in your own healing. Because a lot of your healing is around the crown, like really seeing things for what they are, because there's a lot of distortion, like I said, around responsibility, around guilt. I feel like you feel like you have caused them pain, you have caused someone pain. And so there's a lot of fear, obligation, guilt, like fog, and it creates a distortion in your mind. It might even create low energy levels or like depression, grief. Yeah, there could be a lot of grief as well around cutting away and letting go from this relationship. With the crown chakra, I can talk about it being hard, to cut away. There's a loyalty here to this person that you've had to let go of. It's almost like I feel like you've had to do it, like you didn't want to do it. A part of you didn't want to do it, or it was like, but you kind of knew that you had to, or the situation became intolerable or something happened where you kind of felt like I just have to do this now. And there's a heartbreak energy. For some of you, this might be really new as well. This might have been something that you've only just put this boundary in place or something. So it's very painful. And it does get easier over time. That's what Spirit's saying, to believe in yourself, believe that that you're starting a new loyalty, and it's a loyalty to yourself. That's the thing. Crown chakra is like you need to put yourself first. You need to individuate. You need to be independent here. You need to be okay with you being the one that is seeing the truth here not them. Like, it's almost like you're taking back your authority on who gets to dictate what is true. Because with a narcissist, they will take over authority about what is true. They will be the ultimate authority on what is true, what is not true about you, about even your innermost thoughts. They will still be the authority about what you really think or what you really feel. And it can be a very, very disassociating, like discombobulating experience to be with a narcissist, because they will get inside your head and they will make you be loyal to them and not yourself. Okay. And that's what you're recovering from. And that's what spirit needs you to see, is that the pain, the emotions that you have, they are very real, but ultimately, this is an act of love. This is an act of healing. This is an act of kindness and compassion. It's not something that you need to be guilty about. Like, how could you feel guilty for choosing yourself, for choosing healing, for choosing to heal your ancestral line, your bloodlines, your lineage? How is this something to feel afraid of? How is this something to feel guilty for? I suppose is more what I'm saying, is, how is this something to feel guilty for? That's what spirit's saying, is that it's an illusion, it's a distortion. I want to pull you another card, you guys, because I feel like there's something that you're moving into, right? It's like you're moving into your own authority, you're moving into your own independence, individuation, where you're not afraid. You're not afraid of what other people think of you anymore. You're not afraid of what other people's ideas of you are anymore. Okay, let's get you a card about this. Wow, no way. We have prosperity begins. We have the Ace of Pentacles, you guys. That is literally a new beginning. Oh, and look, back of the deck, we have the star with hope. Yeah, you are the star. Have hope. Stay hopeful, seriously, throughout this healing, because there's so much better to come. I feel like that's what spirit needs you to know, because is this is a process, I feel like, for this group. Like, you may be more at the beginning of the process, or it's just that your psychology, like your level of empathy for others or something, made this a very painful thing. I feel like your crown chakra is like, this is part of your soul's intention for this lifetime, is to actually work on your crown chakra, to work on your crown abilities. Um, and there might have been something about that felt very hard to activate. Like, this decision to leave a narcissist feels like it really activated your crown. But there's something that you've really been healing around, the obligations to do with relationships to others, the loyalties to others, like through obligation or whatever it might be. Yeah, it feels like, wow, it feels like it's very strong, kind of, it's almost like mind control, you guys. It feels like very strong belief systems, mind control kind of energy that you are kind of reprogramming yourself from. And I feel like there's something here where it's almost like you might need to write yourself down reminders. You might need to write yourself down reminders, like a list. Yeah. Oh, you know what it is? It's the loyalty. Oh my gosh, you guys, because I feel like you in particular would have that idolization thing of a narcissist. Sometimes, especially when you grow up with a narcissist, you can really put them on a pedestal and see them as being, infallible and amazing, because that's also how they train you to see them. And you might see yourself as being fallible, but they are infallible, right? And that's kind of the energy that I'm feeling, that was really a part or signature of like the trauma bond that you're healing from, is like you really took the blame in the narcissistic relationship and they were like the one that got to be put onto the pedestal. And it's almost like there's a spirit saying it's almost like you need to reprogram your mind to like seeing them for who they really are, instead of seeing them as this sort of elevated version of themselves. Because yeah, there might be things that are great about them and that are beautiful about them as well. But ultimately, there's a truth here that you need to kind of, not be loyal to someone who is harming you. Do you know what I mean? It's like a dog. Like, a dog is loyal, like even if they are being harmed, kind of thing. And that's not a good thing. You're not a dog. You're a beautiful human being, and you are here to pick yourself up in this lifetime and to walk with pride, and to walk with honor and self-respect, And that's the thing. Sometimes that means walking away from somebody, even if you love them. And that's the thing. You're working with a very kind of nuanced truth here, because I feel like your inner child still really, really loves this person. In particular, your inner child is very, very loyal to this person. And there's almost like you need to write down reminders of like who this person really is, what they've really done, how they really make you feel, because there's a truth here that needs to be remembered. Especially, you guys, after, I think it's 2 years, especially after leaving a narcissistic family system, it can be the time when the magical thinking takes over and you're like, oh, but it was so nice and everything was fine. And what am I thinking? And maybe I'm the one that's wrong. And it's the time when most people go back, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm getting that there's some kind of energy here where your inner child is very loyal to them and very much sees them as being very like it's like unconditional love, and that's okay. Like the thing is that in my own experience, like the inner child doesn't need to stop the unconditional love. Like that's not something that needs to happen. It's just that because I feel like that's the gift of a child is love. Like it's the energy of innocence. This is what the dog is representing. I feel like here is the inner child. It's like the energy of innocence and love, like unconditionally. That is so beautiful. And it doesn't have to be taken away from you, okay? You don't have to like squash that part of you out, but it's about also being the inner adult as well. Not letting your inner child rule your life, but being the inner adult and being like, as an adult, I can also see this and I can also know this and I can also, discern this. And I can also teach my inner child what boundaries are and why it's appropriate to do this. Just like you would protect a child or you would protect a dog if they were being beaten up or something. You would go and pick them up and take them away from that situation. Okay? But a dog or a child might not know to do that for themselves, right? So it's like you have to be the inner adult here. That's what Spirit's wanting you to know here. And that's why you haven't done anything wrong, because I feel like it's like it's almost like you need to pierce through that inner child thinking and become the adult again and raise yourself up into the strength and the respect of your inner adult who is sovereign and who is free and who understands and who knows that what you have done is right, okay? Well, you guys, there's a real powerful energy here, like about reprogramming and like retraining your mind and like sort of every time that inner child energy is like unconditional and like wants to go back or something to come up against that in some way through reminding yourself of the truth. Okay, you might want to write down reminders like I've done nothing wrong, or like why is it wrong to heal myself? What have you really done here? You have set a boundary, you have decided to heal yourself, you know what I mean? Like it's like coming back down to earth. Yeah, it's like reframing things. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like Spirit saying to reframe the decision, because some of you, I'm feeling like you've made the decision to leave a family of some kind, like a husband or wife, or you've made the decision to leave your family of origin or to set boundaries with someone in that family. Like you've left someone and it feels like someone you thought you would be able to be loyal to forever or something like this. And Spirit saying reframe, because it's like, you might be feeling really bold right now, like really exposed, really vulnerable. Like I've really made a big move, a really big decision. And you might be feeling like people are really judging you for this. There's really harsh judgment, like shame, blame, guilt. Yeah, like people might be putting it onto you as well. There might be like a character assassination energy from the narcissist who's trying to like turn everyone against you. And that might be quite painful as well to see that people who you thought would be able to like continue to love you maybe like are abandoning you and stuff. But keep in mind, like with narcissistic family systems, you guys, the most abusive person is the most protected person. Isn't that crazy? But that's how it works with narc families, is that the most abusive person is the person who is most protected. So if you try to go against that or speak up about it, you will not be protected, but the abuser will be protected, okay? That's how narcissistic families work. That's why they're so traumatic and traumatizing. That's why it's pretty much, necessary to leave in some way to heal. So it's sort of Spirit saying, it's like, who are you not to heal? Who are you not to do this? Who would you be if you didn't do this? There's something about that, like really reframing it. It's like the audacity of not healing, the audacity of going along with abuse. Like, why would that be okay? And it's sort of like reframing it and really seeing that. It's like, whoa, like because family systems and narcissistic families and stuff, it distorts reality so much and it distorts what is true. And it's like you get blamed and called, wrong and stuff for standing up against something that is so abusive and damaging. And it's like, how is that wrong? How is it wrong? It's not. It's never wrong. And so, yeah, you're really learning about your crown chakra in this lifetime. Like that might be something. You guys, I'm feeling now another message coming through around crown chakra. And this is making me think of the root chakra, right? Because it's like literally a tree with roots and there's the hand, like the community energy. And Spirit saying you're going to find a new community. You're going to find a new sense of belonging. Have hope for a new day. You're going to plant a new seed. You're going to grow a new life. Because I feel like you've had to leave behind something like a sense of belonging, a sense of family somewhere. And maybe you've even had like friends, relatives or something turn against you and it's been very, very painful, okay? But Spirit's saying, hey, prosperity begins, like another life awaits you, okay? Something that is far more loving and based in truth. For now, I feel like as well, surround yourself in protective energy as much as you can. You need to really surround yourself with loving people. That's the most protective energy you can do, is like to really surround yourself with people who are very loving, and to surround yourself with energy that is very loving, energy that is very gentle and kind, that kind of thing. Because yeah, you're in a healing chamber at this time, and this new beginning, it might not be here for you yet. Sometimes it takes some time to heal before we meet new relationships that are healthy for us, because we've healed enough from the trauma, of the abuse. Okay. So Spirit's saying, yeah, something about really set boundaries where you can. Set boundaries where you can. And this might also be boundaries in your own mind, you guys. Boundaries with your own perception of your own choices. Because I keep getting this thing where it's like the inner child in you keeps thinking they've done something wrong. I've done something wrong. I'm bad. I'm a bad person. I've done something wrong. Okay. And that feeling can be completely intolerable. It's so intolerable. So it might be like you want to do anything you can to escape that, or to maybe run back to that person, or to try to make it right, or whatever it might be. But Spirit's saying, like, healing is not something that is wrong. Like, healing is not something that is bad. Healing does not break, you know, healing does not have to break even relationships up, but it's more of a reflection of the family or the system that you've had to leave than it is of you. It really needs to be put back onto them. And that's a huge part of your healing, is that you're going to realize, like, wow, I do not have to be loyal to this abusive person, or to protecting them, or, because part of, like, I feel like taking on the blame is like part of, it's almost like protecting the abusive person in a way, to take on the blame for something when it really is not your fault at all. Oh, wow, you guys, this is huge. So Spirit's also wanting me to tell you as well that it's going to get easier the more that you go. I really feel like, remember that inner child trick that I told you, where if you start to really feel like, oh my God, everything's my fault, it's all my fault. Remember that that is your inner child. That's your inner child talking, and that is your inner child because that's the environment that you were raised in. That's the programming that you were raised under, was that, yeah, everything got split onto it being your fault. Okay. So when that comes back up, remember that's a really vulnerable part of you. That's also kind of like innocent in a way, like a dog or a child, where it's like they need protection from you. They need you to step into your power, into your adulthood, into your inner parent, your inner adult, and to tell them what's true, to tell them what's up. Be like, hey, this is actually what's going on. Like, leaving is good. This is healthy for me, or this is safe for me to do this. This kind of thing, and help them reprocess what's going on, because they need to recognize that you're the safe bond now as well. Like, you're the person that's there for them. So yeah, you've got a huge amount waiting for you though. Like, this is the thing, you're just getting started in the amount that you're going to receive. Like, I feel like there are benefits upon benefits upon benefits for this action that you're taking around healing yourself. Like, it just is feeling like it's never ending, you guys, like the amount that's coming in for you. Especially to do with, I feel like, a new family, a new sense of chosen family, a new soul family, maybe a new relationship where you have a family with them. There's something about a new sense of belonging, a new community, a new home. You might be moving location. Okay. I feel like, actually, yeah, I'm getting that message as well. If it's available to you, or if you could just plan or pray, for this, maybe moving location could actually really help you in your recovery, because it would give you a new environment where the same triggers wouldn't be around you. The environment in which this narcissistic relationship, you were traumatized by this. That's a form of PTSD. It's called complex PTSD. When you've been in a narcissistic relationship, there's complex PTSD that can often come. It's not always, you guys. I'm not trying to diagnose anyone, but I'm just talking about it from that perspective, is that PTSD can get triggered by environmental triggers. So sometimes moving homes or moving location, like even moving across the country or international, whatever works for you, it could really, really benefit your recovery and your healing as you are like reclaiming your power. But yeah, even writing down like post-it notes to remind yourself, like, healing is a beautiful act. Healing is an act of courage. It's an act of strength. It's an act of love. Whatever it is, like, I don't know, there might be some like really important things that kind of you can sort of come up that will work for you, that will kind of like cut through that illusion energy when it starts to build, where you're like, oh my God, everything's my fault and I'm guilty and all this stuff. It's like, cut through it with some kind of maybe you need to think of a mantra, like an affirmation that you tell yourself, like, healing is an act of love. Like, I don't know, something like this, where it like reframes. You need to reframe that guilt into something that is positive, because that's what's true. I mean, it's because that's what is true. Crown chakra energy as well, you guys, I'll tell you, is very emotionally detached. Okay. Crown chakra energy is about the most opposite thing from a dog as you can be, because a dog is like unconditionally loving and fully attached. Okay. And they're pack animals. They're like, let's just be together forever and always, you know? Whereas crown chakra energy is super independent. Crown chakra is like, I'm going to do what I need to do that's for me at all times. And if that works for you as well, then that means we're compatible. And if that doesn't work for you as well, then that means we're not compatible and goodbye. That's like the most extreme crown chakra energy, is like seriously just like no compromises. Obviously, with crown chakra, there's also a learning about how to be within connection and partnership and relationship in a way that honors you and honors your independence and all this stuff. But I'm just saying that there's something about the crown chakra where there's like an unapologetic energy. The crown chakra is unapologetic. It's like, it's more like a cat, right? It's like a cat is going to be with you because they want to, because they love you. And they're going to let you know if they don't like you, if there's someone around they don't like. I feel like a spirit saying, embrace your inner cat, embrace that energy, embrace that unapologetic energy, okay? Yeah, you've got such a beautiful energy here, you guys. Like, I really feel like that inner child work is going to transform your experience of this recovery process that you're in. I feel like that inner child thing, like what I mean by that inner child thing is like when you had the fear or the guilt coming up, where you're like, oh my God, this is all my fault, or I'm hurting people by doing this, and that's so not okay. And just like wanting to kind of run backwards. And I feel like that might have been a really confusing thing, or it might have been something that was quite hard to overcome. But Spirit's saying it's very, very common, and it's really important to acknowledge that you are a very loving person. Like, you're a very deeply loving, empathic person, and you do have unconditional love in you, where you are able to love someone even if they are abusive or negative or toxic or whatever. You can still love them, and that's a beautiful thing. But it's also something that you need to protect yourself with, because just like you would protect a dog or a child. Like, imagine there was a dog and they were being kicked or something by someone. You wouldn't just let that dog be kicked because they don't know any better. Like, you would go to that dog and be like, hey, come with me. I'm going to give you a new home, and I'm going to make sure that you're safe. And that is the appropriate thing to do. There's nothing, why would you feel guilty about that? It's like, because you took away a punching bag from someone who's abusive. No, that's a good thing. Okay. So that's really what Spirit's wanting to like reframe this whole thing for you, right? Really reframing it in a different way, and like just really seeing that inner child work as really being the key for you. You guys, I have just released the recovery tape that I've done for narcissistic abuse, and I channeled it today, and it was so powerful. Like, I really felt it. It actually worked through all of the chakras. Like, it was a full body clearing and healing, and it's really, really helpful for the third eye. Like, I felt the third eye energy was the strongest for this tape. And what I'm feeling is that it could really help you, this tape I've just done, because it will help with that third eye illusion where you might think that things are your fault, or that the inner child kind of takes over. I feel like it could really help set things straight energetically if you listen to that light language, because light language cuts through illusion and it really gets to the heart of things. And it's so powerful, you guys. So yeah, I'll link that tape down below. Thank you so much for supporting my work. I feel like these are the messages that wanted to come through for you today. If you do want extra energetic help, then definitely check out that Narcissistic Abuse Recovery light language tape. And yeah, I'm going to probably do more readings like this. Comment down below what kind of readings that you would like to see, if you would like this topic to be explored more in detail. I really hope that it served you, and I'm sending you so much love and light. Take care. Hello, Group 3, and welcome to your reading. So you chose Shapeshifter, transform and unveil your gifts. And I feel like you're at a point in your recovery now where you're ready to show yourself more to the world. You're ready to come into the open or out into the stage or like some kind of public arena. There's something where Spirit's saying it's time to get out there again, or it's time to let yourself be loved again, let yourself be seen, heard, recognized, and let your wisdom shine, let your gifts shine. This could be psychic abilities. This could be, I'm seeing for some of you, for some reason, I'm really feeling clairvoyance and psychic abilities. But this could equally be creative gifts, or just like letting yourself really be successful, letting yourself really embody your beauty or your sexuality or your strength, or your power, something like this, where it's like you're really letting yourself shine and have it all. And when you have come from a history of narcissistic abuse and you're recovering from that, I'm seeing like you in particular, there was something in particular about jealousy, like shining may have been equated with danger. Being successful may have been criticized, judged. You may have been punished for being beautiful. You may have been punished for being popular or well-liked, or all of these things might have made you try to dim your light. It's kind of the energy that I'm getting from your history, from kind of your legacy. But I'm feeling now is a time where you've gone through a lot of transformation. You've already done quite a huge amount of healing, I'm feeling. So I've already pulled some cards for you and I'm going to show you what I have. So we have the third eye. I pulled a chakra card for everybody. Okay. The third eye energy, really interesting. You know what? I'm just going to show you all the cards that I have. We also have Know Your Worth. Then we have your tarot card, which is the Eight of Wands, Accelerated Motion. And we also have another, you got two animal spirit cards wanted to come through. So you got Dear Spirit, bring a gentle touch. And it was this Dear Spirit, I have to say, that really drew me in when I was drawing these cards for you. See how this deer is really beautiful? Like, she actually is very pretty, her eyes, just her energy is very pretty. I feel like there's something about you, about the light that you hold, the glow that you have, about your physical embodiment that people really notice you. Like, they notice that you are pretty or they notice that you are beautiful. They notice that you hold some kind of quiet power, like bring a gentle touch. It's like you're not trying. It just is there. And that's the thing. You're not trying to be sexy or something, but people still find you attractive in that way. There's something very effortless about the energy that you hold. It's really interesting, you guys, because I'm just seeing so much jealousy. Like, whoa, I'm seeing this group in particular, like a lot of this narcissistic abuse wound would be around jealousy because I'm feeling like someone in particular, when you were growing up, there was a huge amount of jealousy because they saw you as this beautiful, like, being that was not trying to be beautiful. Like the deer is not trying to. They just are. They just are. It's just their essence as well, their gentleness. You can't help but love them. You can't help but want to go towards them. I'm seeing the archetype of the Cinderella, the girl who is mistreated by her stepmother, her stepsisters, because they are jealous of her. They're jealous of her beauty, her gentleness, her ability to, be attractive to others without trying, her kindness, her, whatever, her intelligence. All of these things, there's something here about you had this kind of essence and energy that you played out this kind of archetype where people were jealous, where people wanted to behave in a way that made you not know your worth. That's the energy that I'm getting with this skunk spirit coming out. They came out together, you guys, when I shuffled. They both came out together at the exactly same time. At the exactly same time. At the exact same time. And so I feel like you were really gentle in this situation. You were really not doing anything wrong to attract this kind of energy, but I feel like people really have come against you in your life. People have really reacted strongly to you, been triggered by you, been jealous of you, like I said, envious of you, and really wanted you to dim your light. Like they wanted you to not know your worth. Like they wanted you to not realize how beautiful you were. They wanted you to not realize how powerful you were, how intelligent you were, how capable you were, how much you would be able to succeed without them. It's this kind of energy. And man, with the third eye coming through, like I feel it in my heart. Whenever I sigh during a reading, it's because there's energy in the heart space. Okay. So you do have this in your heart because I feel like the way that someone treated you, this person was someone that you very much loved. Like that's what I'm seeing, is that the person that really got inside of your head with that third eye chakra and made you not know your own worth was someone that you very much loved. This could have been a mother with the Cinderella energy, or like a stepsister, a sister of some kind, a twin even for some of you guys. Or it could have been a relationship, of course. It could have been any kind of relationship. This reading is very open in general, but yeah, know your worth though. I mean, it feels like this is very deep in the archetype. I feel like it would have to exist somewhere in the family of origin because this energy feels like really deep, deep in your story, in your soul's story with the third eye chakra and transform and unveil your gifts. There's something here with the third eye chakra where it's almost like you may have tried to hide. You may have hidden through silence. You may have observed but not spoken up about it. You may have seen a lot, intuited a lot, but known that there wasn't space for that. Spirit's saying you are really letting go of the trauma that you had around people really envying you and therefore wanting to dim your light or sort of like almost like sabotage you in some way. Like it's a very hostile energy. And the thing that makes it so unbelievable is that you are really showing up as this dear spirit, this very gentle kind of energy that's very like loving and kind. And you really haven't done anything to deserve this. You really haven't done anything to anyone. And yet you were treated with so much hostility, or you were treated with so much envy, or you were treated with so much hatred or sabotage, people trying to come against you or trying to tarnish your name or something like this. Like it's really intense stuff that I'm seeing may have like happened. And they were trying, it was like a campaign. They were trying to um, get you to not know your worth anymore. They didn't want you to see your worth because you also may have been born with some kind of an inherent confidence or some kind of inherent kind of like sass or spark or sparkle, or maybe it's like your charisma. I feel like it's more this, like it's really deeply this energy of magnetism. Like people are drawn to you. That's what it is. It's like whatever way that they're drawn to you, you might be really quiet, you might be really bubbly. Whatever it is, there's something about you that's magnetic. There's something about your energy that people are really drawn to, where people really love you. People really are like, whoa, this person is different, or this person is gifted. Yeah, the gifted, transform and unveil your gifts. It's like people know you're gifted. People know you're talented. People know you're going somewhere with that shooting star. People can see that you are going somewhere in life. And they might be jealous of you. Even if you aren't fully successful right now, it might be jealous of your aura because of you have success written in your aura. You have your destiny written in the stars, and people can see it from a young age. They see you as a star, like that shooting star there. They see you as that star, like you're the one that everyone looks up to. Look, everyone looks up at the shooting star in the night sky. There might be 1,000 other stars that are so beautiful, but that shooting star is the one that everyone looks at. You have that star quality where everyone cannot look away from a shooting star. You're a star among stars. Man, this is a huge energy to wield, you guys. Group 3, my star group. You are a star among stars. I mean, you're not just a star, but you're actually a star among stars, okay? Because look, there's all these other beautiful stars in the night sky. None of them are less beautiful, but that shooting star cannot help but grab the attention, okay? There's something so special about it, right? That's you. You're the shooting star. This is a huge energy to embody, and I'm not surprised that you would have had so much come against you. With the third eye chakra, you have been projected onto, okay? You have had people project onto you things and maybe tell you that you're a certain way or something like this. Maybe you've even had, if you are recovering from a narcissistic relationship, they may have called you a narcissist, all right? Yeah, I'm seeing that. It's like you may have been called a narcissist, or you may have been called things that the narcissists themselves were. That's what I'm seeing, is that they themselves were a certain way, and they told you that you are this way, that you are all the bad things about them they tried to put onto you. Okay, this is something that narcissists do, and it's a way that they regulate their shame. They have core energy of shame where they feel that they're not good enough and they feel inadequate. So they have to try to make other people around them feel inadequate, to devalue them, to make themselves kind of prop themselves up. It's sort of a form of energy vampirism as well. So it's sort of like the more that they hack into your self-worth and compromise your self-worth, the more they feel good about themselves, right? So spirit really wants you to know with the third eye to like reclaim the truth with the third eye, reclaim the truth of this situation, because you have been projected onto by others, and they have told you that you're a certain way. They may have told you that you're arrogant, that you're narcissistic, that you're too confident, or that you're maybe like something about your sexuality may have been, they've been really jealous of that, and something like that, where you're like not trying to do it, but maybe people still find you attractive in that way, and they may have been really envious of that. People may have also even like spread smear campaigns about you, or about your name, or tried to tarnish your reputation as well. That's what I'm seeing as well. Like people have had huge reactions to you, and it's because you hold this energy that is just it's just otherworldly. It's so beautiful, you guys. Like I can't help but really get sucked into it. And that's the thing. Spirit really wants you to know that now is the time in your destiny where it's time to unveil. It's time to shine. It's literally go time. Like it's time to shine. I feel like you have had to kind of hide a part of your beauty, strength, gifts, talent, success, because there's been some kind of like fear of success, which is like a fear associated with good things happening, because you were in some kind of a narcissistic relationship where you were punished for having good things happen because they were jealous of you, right? You were punished for having success, or this thing, that thing. You would definitely be moving through some fears around being seen, around really shining. And that's again like the fear of your own success, because seriously, there's nothing to be afraid of in terms of being seen. All that's going to happen is that people will love you, and that they will prove all of the narcissists wrong, because you are loved and you are lovable and you're beautiful and you're talented and you're all of these things. And that anyone that tries to make you think otherwise is just going to be proven wrong, and your true spirit will be vindicated. That's the thing. You have this true spirit that cannot be tainted. It cannot be like got at. And that's the thing. I feel like you may have had to try to cloak it to preserve it while you're going through such a hostile environment, while you were surrounded by people that were not your friend in some kind of a way. Like these people were not your friend, just like in the Cinderella story, like the evil stepmother and the wicked stepsisters. Like they were not Cinderella's friends. They were trying to sabotage her life. And that's the kind of energy that I feel like you may have grown up with, or you may have somehow had around you in some way. And that's what you're recovering from. And part of recovering is learning like that you can actually have a new experience of relationship, and a new experience of shining, where it doesn't have to be something that you feel punished for. It can be something that is actually celebrated, and that's a good thing, right? Of course it can. And that you're actually having this self-worth, I feel like is really returning to you in like a very fast kind of accelerated motion card is showing up. Like I really feel like this self-worth is rapidly coming back to you. Like the fact that they were able to get inside your mind, third eye, and distort your perception of yourself, Spirit saying it's time to really see how beautiful you are, because it's time to cherish yourself, to see how beautiful you are, to see how intelligent you are, how talented you are, because that is what is real. And I feel like you wanna feel a sense of grief, yeah, because I sighed again, the heart. Whenever I sigh, it's totally the heart. So it's like, I feel like you're gonna feel some sense of grief for the time that you may have felt like you missed out on really being with yourself, really seeing yourself for who you are. Like, the time you missed, like, you might look back at old photos of yourself, right, and be like, "What the heck? I looked so beautiful here. I can't believe that I was so insecure about this thing or that thing." It's that kind of thing where it's like, you look back at this photo of yourself in a bikini and you're like, "Wow, I looked amazing." And you realize that you've just been wasting time hating on yourself. And that's the kind of energy I'm feeling with the third eye, where it's like, it's time to recognize how beautiful you are, how perfect you are, just as you are, because there's energy in you that you actually already have codes for this. This is something you were born with. And this is why so many people felt the need to attack you and attack this energy in you, because it's something that's so rare. That's what I'm saying. You're a star among stars because you actually have this really deep ability to love yourself and to shine. And your energy is magnetic and charismatic. And when you love yourself, other people feel permission to love themselves too. And it makes people feel warm and fuzzy to be around you because you have such a loving energy. And people like want this. It's like time, no matter what you're doing, maybe you're already on the stage, maybe you already got social media, maybe you're already sharing your energy with others, but whatever it is, it's time to be even more authentic, okay? It's time to really put yourself out there. It's time to really shine, let yourself be seen, because I'm being shown like you've healed enough. You've done a huge amount of inner work and inner transformation, you guys. This is a huge amount of healing that I'm being shown acknowledged here. And I'm seeing that it's almost like it's time to get to the next level, or it's time to experience a new version of what healing looks like. And sometimes healing looks like having fun and, standing in your authenticity and being yourself and finding your voice and sharing your gifts and being beautiful and being in your sexuality and confident in yourself and all of these things, daring to live your life and daring to know that you are worthy of that. You have a really strong third eye as well, group 3. That's what Spirit wants me to tell you about, is like you have really strong intuitive gifts. I feel like this group in particular, and you know the truth. You can see yourself. Like, I feel like there is definitely, you will have gone through distortion, from this jealous, envious energy. Like, it really comes from that place. Like, it comes from such a dark place of kind of like, it's really making me think of like fairy tale villains, you guys, is the way that I'm being shown this narcissist that came into your life and that really tried to keep you from your worth and to keep you from seeing your beauty and to put a spell on you, almost like in the third eye. It's almost like a magic spell or something, where they tried to keep you from realizing that you were beautiful, so that they could like take that beauty for themselves, so that they could take that for themselves somehow. They tried to make you realize, like, not realize that you were powerful, so they could have that power for themselves. Yeah, it's really, really intense energy. But the thing is that your third eye is so powerful that like they weren't able to stay in control for very long. Like, you always had strategy. Like, you were transforming under a veiled kind of place. Like, you were veiling from them and you were transforming. And now it's like, from leaving this relationship, you can fully actualize and self-actualize in this lifetime, and they will not be able to have a lasting impact on you at all. Like, you're a shooting star. They can't even touch you. And they tried as hard as they could while they could, like while they had access to your energy. But I'm seeing that you're actually like what's the word? Outgrowing them. They're not gonna have any kind of psychic access to you anymore, any energetic access to you anymore, because you're outgrowing this energy so rapidly. You really do have like a fairy tale energy to you, group 3. There's a magic to you, or a magnetism to you, a star among stars. You have that Cinderella kind of innocence. And I feel like you really have that archetype where you grew up and someone was trying to infiltrate your third eye, trying to get you to think of yourself a certain way. It's almost like how Cinderella's stepmother would tell her, "You're ugly, and no man would ever want to marry you." And then she turns out to be the one that the prince of all the like the whole prince of all the country wants to marry. And it's sort of this opposite thing where it's like she was told by her stepmother and her stepsisters that no one would ever want to marry her and she's just this reject. And actually the opposite was true, she was the most desirable or whatever. So it's something like this where that's what spirit really wants you to know is that the healing from this narcissistic abuse relationship is about reclaiming the truth within your third eye chakra and really knowing your worth and reclaiming it from these people that really telling you the like the lies that were almost see it as almost being the exact opposite of what is true, right? What did Cinderella's stepmother tell her? The exact opposite of what was true, right? The exact opposite of what's true. So it's time to kind of flip the script and like do a reframe and really see that the projections and stuff are also basically a description of the narcissist. What the narcissist has called you is like a description of themselves, okay? Because it's energy that they cannot claim within themselves. You may have had a lot, I'm seeing that a lot of energy may have been projected onto you. And people may have thought that they got away with it, but the thing is that they haven't because you're too powerful and you're reclaiming your power, you're reclaiming your gifts, you're going to shine like so bright in this lifetime. And I'm seeing that actually when you do fully like unleash like this person, I feel like they're like being born or something, right? From this center of the card. It's like when you fully like unleash yourself into the world and you really like take off the veil that was keeping you from really being seen, you're going to be so ridiculously powerful, so ridiculously beautiful, like all of these things shine so ridiculously bright. And it's kind of going to be like a karma clearing where I'm seeing that people that treated you really badly, like some kind of energy that they sent to you will kind of return to them. And it's not something that you need to like control or worry about, or it's not like revenge or anything like that. It's actually just, it's like a return energy because see how this person is kind of like, he's sort of like surrounded by all of this other energy. I'm seeing that it's like other people's energy, like they really tried to surround you in their own ugliness or in their own shame and their own sort of like negativity to try to like make out like this is you, this is you. And then it's like you're being reborn and you're like, no, this is me. I know who I am. I can see who I am. I know my worth. I know my value. And it's almost like you're shedding this layer, this skin, and it's like it's going back to where it came. It's going back to its origins. And that is like a karmic return, a return to sender. And it's not something you you really have to control, but it is something that will happen. And these people cannot bear to see you successful, to see you happy, to see you shining, to see you beautiful. And that's sad, but that's how it is. And yeah, and you just can't help but be who you are in this life, be the successful. With this third eye chakra energy, the third eye is a huge part of healing from narcissistic abuse. I actually did a narcissistic abuse recovery tape today, you guys. I channeled a light language tape today, and I would definitely recommend it. But it really worked with the third eye chakra. Like the main healing wanted to come through the third eye chakra. I worked with every single chakra. It was like a full body one. It was really deep. But the third eye in particular, I kept coming back to the third eye, and I felt this dissolving energy from that third eye. It really needed help with dissolving energy that had been threaded in there from the narcissistic abuse, like this illusion energy. So yeah, I would recommend that tape if you are wanting some extra help with your recovery, some energetic help, energetic support. It could definitely help you with that. And yeah, it's really great, like I said, for the third eye chakra for helping you to see what is truly clear about yourself and about reality and about the situation dynamics and all this stuff. Yeah, so I'll link it down below, and I really hope that this reading served you guys. I feel like those are the messages that wanted to come through for you today. I really enjoyed doing this reading. Please comment down below if you would like to see more of these kind of readings and what kind of topics or questions that might really support you in your own recovery. Thanks so much for your support of my work, and I'm sending you so much love and light. Take care.